In 3, 2, 1. I don't see the bits coming in. Oh, I think I see some bits. It's happening, Lewis. Don't say anything offensive. Boom! And we're live. Hey, that's a good look for you. I prefer not to see the lower half of your face if at all possible.
I'm gonna paint it up like Bane.
Yeah, good idea. All right, everyone. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm just leading off right from the start because I know we have people watching the video on demand. Here's what we're talking about today so you know what you're getting yourself into. We have 9 new Macs that we're going to be talking about. 9 new M2 Macs. We got to keep them here, Lewis. They showed up. We got to get them. They clicked. We got to keep them. So we're going to be talking about what you can expect for the 9 new M2 Macs that are on the way. MacBooks, MacBook Pros, all of it. We've got some iPhone 14 features to talk about, including some big upgrades to the front-facing camera, which, you know, that's the most important one. Wouldn't you agree, Lewis, the one that takes pictures of your own face?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I need that to be just as clear and accurate as possible.
I heard they were thinking about adding a beauty filter, too, which adds some nice rouge and some eyeshadow and stuff.
It's going to be $5 a month for that, though.
So, and you know what? I can't believe that I'm saying this, but my friends, the HomePod ain't dead yet. It's coming back. It's going to be making a big comeback, and we will be talking about that. Lewis can barely believe what we're talking about here. You know what, Lewis? The HomePod has a huge cult following. I don't even know if you know. It's like Rocky Horror Picture Show level. I mean, people love the HomePod, man. They love the HomePod. I don't know what Apple was thinking. They should never have discontinued the big HomePod. The mini HomePod is, I mean, it's fine, but it's just like every other smart speaker on the market. There's nothing.
That's not true. Well, it's not just like every other one.
I mean, it's
worse. It's more stupid.
Well, that is true.
I think it sounds probably a little better, although I don't have that much experience with all those many echoes and things like that.
I agree. It does sound fantastic for its size.
But yeah.
But the series not
leaves
great,
a little
right?
bit to be desired.
Which is what people typically want smart speakers for. Is like the Amazon product is. I mean that AI is really unbelievable. It can answer questions that no other system. Actually, I take that back. Maybe Google could do it, but it knows things. It's able to deliver answers on the most obscure questions, things that Siri can barely understand when you ask it to like turn the lights on. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's get this tweet going. You know what? There's something going wrong with our YouTube page here because it says people are chatting, but I actually can't see any of the chats. Let me see if I click this. Yeah, none of the chats are showing up. I have no idea why. So if you got questions, keep pounding away at the keyboard, and hopefully, there they go. All of a sudden, they all showed up. Shout out to Ulysses. Shout out to Chase McLean. Jay Cruz says, "Hey y'all." Captain Future goes, "Yoo-hoo!" That's a new one. Adam Broussard, howdy doody. Audio's low. Wait a second. Airphone's audio's low. Is it low? Check.
I can hear it fine,
okay,
but
I'm gonna turn it up because I heard that it was low before too. So I'm gonna try cranking it up there, and hopefully that works. Oh, we got Captain Zach Hicks is here. Now it's a party. We got Ryan Stryker. That's a great name. It's like a video character's name. It's like when you hear something outside, you're like, "What is it?" Freaking foot comes through the door and busts it open. It's like, "It's Stryker." And he just blows you away with the 10 gauge.
10 gauge. Ooh.
12 gauge. Wait, which one's bigger? Is it 12 or 10?
10. 10's bigger.
Okay, so I was right. Yeah, it was 10 gauge. Audio good from here, says Zach Hicks. Good. Whoops, I hit myself in the face with my own microphone. How embarrassing. Let's go ahead and cue up Mrs. You Know Who, and we'll get this show rolling. Mrs. D. Oh, hello. Oh, Mrs. D, why so long in the face? Oh, I wanted to get my oven mitts on those sweet El Caney buns. Oh, my goodness. Can you tone it down for the show? We're live, my dear
Denied.
Lady. He's not here. Oh, I guess I can carry on without him this time. So let's get this music queued up here, Mrs. D. I think that you're going to like what we have to talk about. Oh, I always do. And we'll get this show. 3, 2. Wait a second. Hold on a second. Oh, there they are. I almost lost my notes. Here we go. Hello, and welcome to CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Airphone Elijah. Join me today. The cult of Mac writers quietly call him the gardener, because if your story comes in late or with any spelling errors, your ass is grass, and he's the lawnmower. He's the managing editor of Cult of Mac.
There's a new one.
Don't shake your head like you don't know exactly what I mean. They don't say gardener aloud. They'll watch and make sure you're not around. They're like, here comes the gardener. You better keep typing. Like we made up that silly story that Buster Heine left the show and moved on to bigger and better things. The honest truth is that Lewis killed him.
Jeez.
With his bare hands. It was one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. And I wasn't even there. Lewis sent me the video after the fact. He had another Cultimac writer record the whole thing. I mean, Lewis, he made one too many spelling errors. That's what you get at the Cultimac World Headquarters. All right, all.
Gotta say, it feels like there's like a typo renaissance. I don't know. I've been adding typos myself lately. I don't know. It must be the COVID. I don't know what it is. I feel bad about it. I apologize to everybody in advance.
Oh, you have to discipline yourself then. but maybe not on camera. Hopefully my audio's better. I cranked up everything. So let me know how the audio sounds here, guys. Adam Broussard's got a hard stop at 4. I get it. A firm handshakes to you, Adam Broussard. Before we dive in, let me give a very enthusiastic thank you to Squarespace for supporting this episode. Squarespace.com/CultCast. Squarespace has everything you need to sell anything. And this is the site that I use for cultcloth.co. So I built a website all by myself to sell Cult Cloth, which is just a magnificent product, cultcloth.co. And what I love about it is it's just, I mean, first of all, you can do everything yourself. You can add all the products. You can tweak the UI, make it look exactly how you want without having to code or anything. And it integrates with all these great services that allow you to run your business, you know, as hands-off as you care to be. And it is very hands-off. I mean, I've kind of created like this kind of hands-off business where I'm kind of like touching it every once in a while, but I'm not interacting with it like every single moment, every single day. And Squarespace is what allows me to do that. And you can build a online commerce business. You can build a business online where you are having people book your time, so you can teach them how to do things or do therapy or something like that. I don't know what people have you book time for, but you can do that. You can create a website to promote your business. You can promote yourself to potential employers. They have like a single page website that you can put up quickly with a really large image or a video in the background. And I think it's an impactful way to make yourself stand out to potential employers. So I always tell people, if you need a website, I know I've said this like 1,000 times and I still mean it, head on over to squarespace.com/cultcast, sign up for the free trial. And if you like what you have and you want to keep your service going after you've built a site, use code CultCast at checkout. You'll save 10% off your first purchase. And if you do a year of service at a time, which is what I do, you get an additional discount, and the discount still applies. So it's a really good deal. Squarespace.com/cultcast. Use code CultCast at checkouts. Where shall we begin here, Lewis Wallace?
The beginning.
Shall we start at the beginning? I guess
it's just an idea.
Okay, let's
do
start
at the end and then come back like some of those fancy TV shows.
We've never tried that before. Maybe
See ya!
Maybe we should try that. We'll start at the end. Why don't we just go straight to the end, turn up the music, and then just leave? People might like that more. And then we can just do the end show. All right, let's just dive right in because Apple's prepping 9 new Macs with M2 processors. Let me bring up the story. Here we go. Let me put this over here so I can see what I'm actually doing. So here we go, my friends. I have a theory. I think we are on a 2-year upgrade cycle now, Lewis. I think Apple's going to spend the first year upgrading their consumer Macs to the M2, and then the next year going to the M2X or the M2 Pro, M2 Max. Oh, taking it way back there with the M2X. So I think we're on a 2-year upgrade cycle, and I think we're on a 4-year architecture cycle. This is just me thinking out loud here. So after 4 years, we're going to move up into some like super impressive new architecture, and it's going to take us another leap forward. That's my theory. So 2 years of the same architecture, but each year having its own like individual numbers, like M1, M2, and then we'll go to M3, M4, right? So I think we are in a 2-year upgrade cycle for N2. Wait, did I say that wrong? I did say that wrong. Never mind. Let's just move on.
Gee whiz.
I'm talking so fast.
I was going to say, I actually was looking to see if there was like a 1.5x button that I had pressed. But that can't be true because it's real time.
I'm just my brain just moves that fast. So let me just get into the story here before the preamble here is way too long. So let's talk about the M2 Max because apparently we got a bunch of them on the way. Apple reportedly has half a dozen Macs with next generation M2 processors in testing. These are a mix of MacBooks and desktops, and this is according to Bloomberg here. Some supposedly will arrive later in 2022, and some will be in 2023. Let's see here. We're going to be getting a MacBook Air with an M2 chip, and according to Bloomberg, the Mac will have an 8-core CPU and 10-core GPU. That's up from 8 graphic cores in the current MacBook Air. You guys are going to like this. I know there's a lot of people out there that were kind of disappointed that we didn't get a Mac Mini update with a beefier SoC. And if that's you, then I think you're going to like what you're about to hear here, okay? Because you don't necessarily want to go up and spend all the extra money for the Mac Studio. And so we are also potentially getting a Mac Mini with we're definitely getting a Mac Mini with an M2 chip. This will have the same specifications as the MacBook Air, but it looks like they're also testing out like an M2 Pro option, which that's a heck of a value right there. If you can get a Mac Mini with an M2 Pro and 10G Ethernet and spend, $1,500 on that as opposed to $2,000 or $4,000 on a Mac Studio, that's going to be a sweet spot for a lot of people, I think. All right, moving on. An entry-level MacBook Pro with an M2 chip. This will have the same specifications as the MacBook Air because, as we know, it's pick your form factor with Apple now, right? You basically pick the SoC that you want, and then that SoC performs the same across all the different platforms. Unfortunately, I think that for us Pro users, this actually ends up being a negative for us because we were expecting that because the M1 Max would be able to be cooled more effectively and given a little bit more juice in the Mac Studio, we thought it would run faster than the MacBook Pro version of the M1 Max, which runs screaming hot. But it seems like that's not the case. It seems like Apple is limiting the performance in the Mac Studio on the M1 Pro on the M1 Max because they don't want it to be performing faster than the other M1 Maxes. That seems to be the way it's going, and that's a major bummer because I thought, and we all kind of thought, that when they put the M1 Max in the Mac Studio, they'll crank up the juice. It's got an insane cooler on it, and it would run faster than the M1 Max and the MacBook Pro. Doesn't seem to be the case, which is a major bummer. Okay, MacBook Pro. 14-inch, M2 Pro, M2 Max chips. The M2 Max will have 12 cores and 38 graphic cores. That's a very odd number, up from 10 CPU cores and 32 graphic cores in the current model. And then the 16-inch MacBook Pro, well, it will be larger, but have the same M2 Pro, M2 Max. And then, I know what you're thinking to yourself, Lewis, where's the Mac Pro, the successor? We don't know, but apparently it's on the way. And Bloomberg doesn't know what they're going to cram into that dang thing, but it's going to be the successor of the M1 Ultra chip, quote unquote. So that's what you can look forward to. Will they call it? I think they're going to call it something that is beyond the M1 Ultra naming convention. Yeah, it's going to be like the Ultramax, something like that. So there you go. There's all the new M2 machines on the way. I mean, it will probably be at least 3 months before we see another new machine. Apple's going to give it some breathing space.
I don't know.
I take that back, unless they announce the Mac Pro at WWDC, which actually.
Just a couple months from now. And they actually, the latest rumors just coming out right now.
Yep.
MacBook Air, Mac Mini with M2 chip might show up at WWDC. Not the Pro. Not the Pro.
Really, man, that would actually be really interesting if they did the M2. I have the M1 Ultra Mac Studio. Man, I won't get into it. Yeah. You guys already know how I feel, right? The M1 Ultra, it's just turning out to be not as impressive as you would think it would be for the extra $2,000. And there's a multitude of reasons why it seems like that's the case. I mean, Final Cut Pro just got updated. I'm going into it already. We had Max Tech on the show last week. Go watch the videos. And I dropped some highlight videos on the Cult of Mac channel. Watch.thecultcast.com. You can see the live shows. It's just truly sad. I thought we're in for major performance increase here. But now I'm kind of wishing I had just got the M1 Max 14-inch MacBook Pro and just moved on with my life.
You just need to make peace with this. Just make peace with the fact you got an awesome deal or an awesome computer that's not going to be out of date in at least 2 months, and then just go.
Yeah, right. Watch them drop the M2. This is why I think that they're on a 2-year cycle for moving between SoC numbers, right? So they go the first year they release mostly the consumer grade stuff, and the next year it's the pro stuff, and then they move up to the M3, and then 2 years later they move to the M4 or whatever. And the reason I think they do that is because they don't want to have you buy a Mac Studio with M1 Ultra and then a year later have it be out of date. I don't think Apple they want you to get like over a year, maybe 2 years of top tier performance before it's outdated. That's just my feeling about it. I could be wrong.
Well,
yeah.
But if you're saying that the M1 Ultra doesn't do that much better than the M1 Max, I can't even keep all this straight anymore. So what do you think the M2 is going to do? It's going to be worse than those two?
Well, the M2 is going to be better than the M1 for sure.
The regular M1.
Yeah, it's going to have more GPU cores. It's probably going to have a faster clock speed. So in single core performance, the M2 single core to single core might actually outperform the Mac Studio. In fact, I'd be surprised if it didn't, because it's going to be clocked faster and it might be more efficient. But in multi-core, of course, it will get destroyed because the Mac Studio with M1 Max or M1 Ultra is going to be insane because there's so many cores. But this is the thing, like a lot of things that you do don't require all those cores. So you're getting all of these extra cores, but the cores are just sitting there unused because the software isn't optimized to take advantage of them. And that's part of the problem. And we're getting optimizations now for the extra cores, like Adobe's been updating their software and Final Cut Pro. Well, they say they updated their software. They released 10.6.2, but there don't really seem to be any major improvements that are obvious to anyone.
So I was just going to ask. So you went and saw all the things in the past week that show, and it's just not that.
It's just not. It's just kind of depressing. Yeah. I mean, if anyone's curious, go check out Max Tech's channel. I mean, they're like, I don't think anyone is doing better than them when it comes to benchmarking. It's actually really crazy. I was reading a Reddit thread where one of the Max Tech's videos were posted, and there's just all these greasy slime balls in there just slamming Max Tech for putting out clickbait, and I'm like, clearly you didn't even watch the video. Like, they literally did all the benchmarks and they showed you that the M1 Ultra wasn't performing as well as the M1 Max in some tests, or it was on par. I mean, they just showed you the data. That's all they did, and you don't believe it. It's like you refuse to believe that that's the truth, even though they show you all the benchmarks. They even show you doing the benchmarks, and they just refuse to believe it, and they were clowning on them. And I was like, you guys are morons. Like they're not trying to trick you. Like they just want to show you that if you are someone who is thinking about spending the extra money, it may not be worth it to you. And if you want to go do it like I did, like I went into it knowing that I probably overspent. I went into it knowing that. And I was like, this is a bummer. I even thought about returning it, as I've talked about many times. I decided to keep it. But at least I know going in, and I'm grateful that I know what I know, right? I'm not surprised. But some people just refuse to believe it. But anyway, I think that's more of a commentary on the people that are hanging out on r/Apple. They can't believe it. They just can't believe it. Let's talk about iPhone 14, Lewis. We got some great news here. I honestly thought this was really good news, and I was happy to see this.
Yeah, you're excited about this.
Yeah, I am, Lewis.
All right. iPhone 14 might be Apple's first with an autofocus selfie camera. Yeah, looks like it might be the very first one. Front camera also supposedly would get a lower f-stop, and both of these changes would help make the iPhone 14 a better option for narcissists.
Come on. It's rude. I feel like you were trying to look at me through Skype when you said that.
I'm sure you do feel like I was trying to look at you. That's what narcissists do.
I take a lot of pictures. That's actually a great point. I feel like you're talking to me and only me. But I often feel like that. As someone who takes a lot of pictures, I take a lot of pictures with my kids, right? I try to, because like when I hopefully get old and die, I want them to be like, oh yeah, Dad was there, right, for all this stuff. And so the front-facing camera for me is a way to document those special moments with my kids. And then also, I try to take pictures of my calves a lot, so like I'll angle the camera so like you can see like how cut they are, and then I'll post those on Instagram. And the front-facing camera is important for that too.
God, I just almost never ever use it. But anyway, so this comes from one of our favorite sources, TF International Securities analyst Ming Chi Kuo. He said this week, quote, the front camera of 4 new iPhone 14 models in 2H22, that's second quarter of 2022, would likely upgrade to AF, which means autofocus.
Autofocus. Yep.
AF. And he said, I'm just quoting his thing here, AF support and a lower F number can provide a better shallow depth of field effect for selfie/portrait mode. In addition, AF can also enhance the focus effect for FaceTime video call live streaming.
Yeah, so the current phones have a fixed focus, so they get everything in focus, right? And according to this rumor, which I would love to see this implemented, is it's going to have a lens that moves, and so it can focus on you and then blur out the background better. I think that's a really cool feature, Lewis.
Sure, it's fine. I mean, any improvement to the camera is great, right? I mean, the thing that is missing from this is center stage. I can never remember what it's called. Center stage.
I can never remember the name
There's
of that
still
damn
no
feature either. Yeah, I can't either. I always forget it. But apparently they're thinking about adding that too.
No, so far no suggestion they're going to add that.
Oh, there's been no suggestions.
Yeah,
I missed that part. Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe they'll bring it out. I mean, it seems like a logical thing to do, right? I mean, probably more people do FaceTime calls on iPhones than iPads. I would, if I had to guess.
Dude, so I wasn't planning on showing you this.
Oh,
we got to do more gadget reviews here, right, chat? we got to do some more gadget reviews. So I got this little knick-knack. I'm talking to the chat. So to your point about using your phone for FaceTime, right, or watching videos, like one of the things I find annoying about my phone is like whenever you're using it, you got to like lay it down or prop it up against something. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to see the screen. Well, finally, after years of this being a problem, I decided to go and do something about it, Liz. I bought this little MagSafe accessory here. You see this?
Yeah.
It's made out of
sprang into action.
It's made out of aluminum. And for those of you listening, it's like a little stand, and at the top of the stand it has a little magnet MagSafe connector on it, and you can just snap it right to your phone like that. And now look at this, Lewis. You can watch stuff on your phone. You can angle your phone so it's pointed towards your face. You can change it into horizontal mode so you can watch videos. And this has made my phone so much more useful. So now when I'm doing FaceTime calls, I can like position the phone and like point the camera at my face.
You don't have to stand there and get a cramp in your forearm.
Exactly. And you can also keep it in this mode, right? So you can watch videos, you can do FaceTime calls. This cost me $20. I got it on Amazon. I should probably be selling these.
What's the red stuff on the bottom of that? Is that tape?
It's just it's like a little pad so that it doesn't slide around your desk. And this is like, 85% of the stuff that you find on Amazon is just cheap crap from China. And I could do a whole episode just on like why most of the stuff on Amazon is weird and unbranded. But I won't do that now. But this, it's probably going to wear out in 2 years, but it's completely made out of metal. The whole thing is totally solid metal. But
is it
yeah, what
is it heavy enough that it's not going to tip over?
It never tips. Never
Yeah?
tips.
Okay.
Yeah, it never tips. And I think the reason it never tips is because the way this angles your iPhone over this little stand at the very bottom. So it's super sturdy. Yeah, it never tips over. And then again, it just, you just put it on there and it just snaps right on. It's like it's really
MagSafe is the best. Why did they not think of MagSafe?
I have no idea.
10 years ago.
Yeah, because they're not as smart as us, Lewis. We would have thought about MagSafe at the very start. It would have been
that is debatable.
right after they did that weird Newton logo, we would have been like, what about magnets? Has anyone talked about magnets around here? We would have launched with that. That would have been what we started with. But, anyway. So there you go. There's your iPhone 14 front-facing camera update. But there is one more thing that I think is worth showing, right? So speaking of cameras, we heard that the iPhone 14 camera hump on the back is going to get larger. And I know you're thinking to yourself, how can that possibly be? How can that possibly be? Look how big it is now. And I've got this case on my phone, which I'm sure you've heard me talk about before. It's a bumper case, which I love, the Rhino Shield Crash Guard. And to protect this comically cartoonishly big camera hump on the back, they had to extend the back of this case like, I don't know, 5 millimeters. So it just hangs. There's this giant lip on the back of my phone now, just so the camera is protected. Well, the next case I use is probably going to have like a half-inch lip on the back to cover this dang camera. Because check out. So I'm going to post this in the, go to camera mode here, browser mode, and you'll see pictures of these photos that surfaced on Weibo, which is like a Chinese like Twitter. And they purport that these are the aluminum molds of the iPhone 14s so that you can start making cases. Case manufacturers can start making cases.
Start lifting weights so you'll be able to carry it.
It looks like it looks like a gall darn cow nipple. Look at this thing. Look how huge that is, Lewis.
Yeah, they look like hammers or something. They're giant.
They are absolutely comically enormous. I mean, I can't even imagine how much extra weight that adds to the top of the phone. And I don't know if people even care about this, but doesn't that just look like ridiculous on the back? These cameras are enormous, and they're going to be making the phone thicker. So previous leaks suggest that the camera hump on the iPhone 14 will now be 0.48 inches, so almost a half inch versus the 0.3 inches on the iPhone 13 Max. So, I mean, that's almost...
What? 0.48 inches?
0.48 inches, a half inch with the camera hump. Does that not seem crazy to you?
Is the current one even actually that big? Come on.
Well, I don't know. We'll have to see. But I mean, if the iPhone 13 Pro Max is 0.3 inches, and these, just by looking at them, you can tell they're way bigger. So, half-inch iPhone. Hey, you know what? I'm not complaining because you know what, Lewis? We always said, make it thicker. We don't care. Make it thicker. Go ahead, Apple. Make it thicker. So that see, this is the suggestion that I made.
Those things.
This is the suggestion I made. I think instead of having a comically large camera hump on the back, make the whole phone thicker to disguise the camera hump, right? So sink the cameras into the phone a little bit, and then just cram that thing full of battery. Make it like an ounce or two heavier. No one cares. And then give it like a 3-day battery life.
That would be crazy.
That's what I'm talking about. Am I right, chat? Adam Broussard says, thicker than Snickers. Shoot. I don't even know what that means. So, there you go. There's your iPhone 14 update. We're just cruising through these, Lewis. Cruising through them. Before we move on, can we give a quick mention of the giveaway, Lewis? The giveaway?
Yeah, it's extended.
Oh,
I forgot to mention this last week. I was so distraught after the thing that we've decided we're going to extend this giveaway. It's for the Lulu Look stand and iPad stand, and I never know how to gallium nitride charger, 33 watt
that looks
charger.
Nice. That
Remember
looks
this?
nice.
Look at that thing. It basically turns your iPad into a little mini iMac.
Oh wow, that looks great. Yeah, that's a beautiful stand.
Yeah, we're it's similar in function to what you're talking about with your iPhone, right? It's awesome to be able to put the device that you're using in a place where you can position it. You don't have to like hold on to the thing forever, right?
Yeah.
So that's perfect. It's perfect for working with a keyboard, doing video chats, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
We're giving away 5 of these. 5 Lulu. Good Lord. 5 Lulu Look bundles to 5 lucky winners. Each bundle is valued at $90.
Yeah.
They come with the Urban iPad magnetic stand, which you're looking at there, and a 33 watt gallium nitride USB-C charger.
There you go.
This is for just to be clear, giveaways for 11-inch iPad Pro and 12.9-inch iPad Pro models.
The stand is. You're not getting an 11-inch iPad Pro.
Right. You enter this if you have one of those 2 tablets or plan to get one of those 2 tablets.
Yeah. That is really handy. I like that it's fully adjustable too. That you can rotate it all around. That's it's got a hinge too, so you can you can get the perfect angle on that. That just makes your iPhone and your iPad so much more useful when you have a stand like that. I'm telling you, Lewis, this little gadget right here, life-changing product. I use this all the time now. I keep it on my desk.
You should have like a little carabiner so you can carry it around on your belt.
I don't know if I don't know if I'm gonna take it that far. But if I have one of these for my iPad too, I'd probably just leave it on my desk. Use it all the time because I could just have it angled. All right, look, you can access the Cult of Mac giveaway here. Just go to cultofmac.com. Scroll down till you see the giveaways thing, and I was trying to show that.
I can't believe I didn't even mention that. Yeah, it's
no
always
problem.
there on the homepage.
No problem.
Always on there. Just scroll down to the giveaway area and get your entries in.
And I'm going to post a link in the chat, too. And let me just always say, or let me say what I always say. You got a chance. You got a chance.
I feel like this is so insulting.
You got a chance to win it. That's all I'm saying. A lot of people, they're like, I'm not going to enter it. There's no way I'm going to win it. You got a chance. Just go in there. Enter it. You might win something cool. And if I may, I hate to do this and add yet another marketing, a moment of marketing in here. But can I just give a quick plug to cultcloth.co? Cultcloth.co.
Who's going to stop you?
Leander's not here. I'm doing whatever I want. Just what a great product cultcloth.co is. Do I have one here? Just look at this big, beautiful Cult Cloth. You're going to love the way it feels. These are a product that I launched in 2015, if you can believe it. And they're even better now than they used to be. I mean, just look how juicy and thick with 2 C's that Cult Cloth is. This thing is the destroyer of grime. There's just nothing that works better. And they're hewn from a special fiber. It goes through a process that breaks down every individual fiber to drastically expand the surface area. And that leads to a huge increase in cleaning power because with synthetic fibers, like the cleaning power lies in the surface area. That makes it clean well. And you can just feel it at work. Like when you rub your fingertips on it, you can just feel it. It's like grabbing onto your fingertips. It's a little crackling feeling because they're all like grabbing on. You wipe this thing across your iPad, your iPhone, your Mac Studio, your Studio Display, your Apple Watch, and it just leaves nothing behind but sparkling glass and metal. I use these on my sunglasses, on my lenses, especially with the Cult Cloth Duo. It has a dual fiber design, so it's short on one side, great for cleaning screens with a little bit of cleaning solution, and then on the back it has these long fibers, and these things just wrap around crevices, the crown on your Apple Watch, and it will go down and pick up every little piece of dirt that you left behind and just leave nothing there but sparkling glass and metal. So if you still haven't picked up some Cult Cloth, you can do so at cultcloth.co. Thousands of you have bought these, which I really appreciate because they help support me and the show. And if you use code CultCast at checkout, you'll get a free carry cloth, which are really portable. Great for sunglasses, quick wipe of your iPhone, your glasses, so on and so forth.
Concealed carry cloth?
Concealed. You can conceal it, sure. You don't even need a license. Great for wiping down your Beretta after a battle with the drug lords. Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can confirm like several major movie stars have bought these and used them.
Come on now.
No, I don't know if that's true.
Johnny Depp.
Sylvester Stallone has purchased these to keep all of his military equipment on the next Rambo movie, sparkling clean. I don't want to drop any names. Look, whoops, I dropped that, didn't I? Arnold Schwarzenegger uses them on his biceps to keep them shiny for his movie premieres. So they have all sorts of uses. Cultcloth.co. All right, let's dive into the story that I think that is probably the one that you're all most excited about. Let's talk about HomePods, my friends.
It's the feel-good story of the week.
Because the HomePods, they're not dead. They should have never died. They met an untimely death. I don't know what Tim Cook was thinking, TC, because people love the HomePods. I've got 4 of the dang things, and one of mine's making that.
Oh no! Really? See, now that's what I was.
Yeah.
That's the thing that keeps me from buying more of them. Is when you finally hear that, and it's just like, okay, well now it's done, and there's no recourse.
It's been doing that for months and months and months, though, and it's never really loud. Does that mean it's going to die? So we should give some context for those of you that don't know what we're talking about. Like, I guess there was some problem with HomePods where they started making this weird like noise, and apparently that was the of death. Doesn't that mean that they're going to die sometime soon, Lewis?
Supposedly, that's what I've read. I've never heard it. Thank the Lord.
Yeah, you haven't heard it on any of your HomePods?
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man. That's
It's a
cost.
bummer that you've heard it. It's not a bummer that I have not heard it.
Well, I'm bummed that
That's
you haven't
that
heard
is
it because misery
an
loves company.
anti-bummer.
Because I love my HomePods. I have two in stereo mode. Excuse me, right in front of my beautiful 65-inch OLED, and dude, they're perfect for my living room. They sound beautiful. I use them for playing music. I use them for watching movies. They have got that excellent Dolby Atmos surround sound. I mean, they're just, they really are wonderful products. I was so destroyed when Apple discontinued them because it's something that so many people love. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of ourselves here, Liz. You want to tell us about if you've got a HomePod wrapped in a box, you got a treasure that you should hang on to.
Yeah, so a year after Apple discontinued the HomePod, the smart speakers are regularly selling on eBay. Oh my God, that's Loser Bay. Okay, are you familiar with it?
That's where Lewis shops. eBay. There's no one there. He's like, I can never find anything. There's never anything there to buy.
Take two. A year after Apple discontinued the HomePod, the smart speakers regularly sell on eBay for more than the original asking price.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear that? More than the original asking price. If you remember, original HomePod cost $349 when it launched in 2018. Then, a little more than a year later, Apple reduced the price to $299, and eventually, citing lackluster sales, Apple discontinued the HomePod in March 2021. Cue the little death march.
Wow, they
sound.
had it going for 3 years.
It's kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't realize it was that long.
Well, so anyway, since they pulled the plug, how things have changed. So this is based on some data cited by The Verge. Over the past year, 6,610 HomePods sold on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fairly large number of speakers, right? Like, how many did Apple even produce? We never heard a number, right?
10,000, maybe.
So the speaker's selling price averaged $347.61, or more than 15% above Apple's final retail price prior to discontinuation. Here's where it really gets crazy. Slightly more than 2,000 new or sealed HomePods sold over that year. They averaged selling price of $432.27. That's over the past year.
Yeah.
Right. And so and prices just keep going up. In the past week, new HomePods sold for an average price. New ones. This is new ones. $638.76.
Man, I wish I had scooped up. I'm just kicking myself because remember when Costco, they must have had some inside information and they were liquidating the HomePods for $150.
I wish I would.
Remember when did I tell you about that? Right?
Yeah,
we were
right after they stopped selling them.
And then I was like, oh, I missed the sale, but I'm sure they'll have the sale back, right? And then nope, they were liquidating them, never to carry them again. If only I had known, I would have bought 4 of those dang things and just kept them in storage. That's how much I love the HomePods. I mean, I wonder if you have a HomePod break, is Apple even able to repair them anymore? Are you even able to get it fixed?
Yeah, that's what I don't know. I mean, I've never actually heard of anybody trying to get one fixed. I've read reports of people having them bricked by software updates and of course that clicking of death or whatever the hell it is.
Because you could have bought Apple Care for them, and so technically speaking, Apple would still be on the hook for Apple Care for people that purchase that.
If you bought Apple Care Plus, it's a couple of years on, right?
Yeah,
I mean, what is it, the last 2 years? So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. That's the weird thing. Like, what do you do if something breaks and they don't make it anymore? I mean, do they even have parts to replace them? I mean,
I'm sure they've got parts, but
must have some. But
yeah, golly, it's just such a bummer. Well, look, let's not get all sad yet because Apple's clearly got something going on with HomePods, right? I mean, they keep updating the HomePod. They've made it much better since they have discontinued it, and they keep coming out with updates for it.
That's true, and it does still sound good.
And it still sounds beautiful.
We had some people come to our house the other day, and then they were asking my wife, "Oh, what is that? Where can I get one?" I was like, "Yeah, sorry,
too late." Should listen to the CultCast. Could have got one for $150 at Costco. But according to Bloomberg, HomePod ain't dead yet, baby. HomePod ain't. This is like the movie pass of tech stories. It just can't. It just won't die.
It can't be.
It just won't die. It was too beautiful to live, but it won't die either. So, according to Bloomberg, we do have another permutation of the HomePod in the works. And if this is to be believed, I don't know what TC is smoking over there in the underground bunkers of Apple headquarters, but this is an oddball idea. So, the next HomePod reportedly won't be a replacement for the full-size smart speaker. Apple is instead working on a combination Apple TV, HomePod, and FaceTime camera product. So just imagine that, Lewis. Where do you put a item that is an Apple TV, also a HomePod, and also a FaceTime camera around your TV? Like, where would that even fit? You can't put it in front of your TV, can you? Or maybe you can. Maybe it's going to be a soundbar. Maybe it's going to be an Apple soundbar, a HomePod soundbar. Actually, that would actually make sense. There's a camera on it with FaceTime, and it also acts as your Apple TV.
It just goes straight into the TV, and you just see the giant screen talk.
Exactly. That makes more sense than anything else because they can't keep them to be the original shape of the HomePods. So, actually, I'm saying actually a lot. That would be very cool if they did that.
Why couldn't they keep it the original shape?
Because
you're saying because
you can't place it in front of the
facing
TV.
you. It wouldn't be central to where you're.
Well, if you made a HomePod in the shape that they have them now, they're those round shapes. Oftentimes they are too tall to be put in front of your TV, depending on what TV you have, because they block part of the screen. So I think it would make a lot more sense to have like a HomePod soundbar that does all these things. But I suppose you're right. If they just made some small little HomePod mini type products,
they could just, I mean, a lot of people, you got to figure out like, just move your TV up a little bit, right? I mean, that could work.
Yeah, you could do that as well, but a lot of people don't want to like lift their TV up. It has to be universal for TVs that are on mounts and TVs that come with regular stands. So let me keep reading. So according to Bloomberg, you're getting me all distracted.
Sorry about that.
The device supposedly will be the heart of Apple's smart home strategy. Quote, this is Gurman, I absolutely do think a new HomePod is coming, specifically a device that combines a HomePod, Apple TV, and FaceTime camera. It would be cool to have a FaceTime camera in the living room, too. I get FaceTime calls in my living room all the time. And I might actually use... Oh, my gosh. What's the feature called? Center Stage. I would probably use Center Stage if it were in my living room. It could follow me around. That's something that would be super useful. Okay, carrying on with the story here. Rather than making... Oh, wait a second. Okay, I already said this. Rather than making FaceTime calls with an iPhone, iPad, or Mac, someone will be able to make them from this device and see the other person on their TV. Pretty cool. And it would be an Apple TV, so it can make access to films and series from a variety of streaming services, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we get it. The device apparently will run Home OS. No one cares. At this point, it's not expected to reach customers. I'm trying to get through the relevant information here, Lewis. At this point, it is not expected to reach consumers until 2023. Okay, so a little ways off. The future of Apple's smart speaker is apparently the HomePod Mini. Now that is truly sad. That is truly sad. The HomePod Mini, I'm sorry, is it's a poor replacement for the regular HomePod. It's not even the same product. The HomePod was a masterpiece of audio crammed into a Mac Pro sized container. And the HomePod Mini, it sounds good, but it's no regular HomePod for sure. Let's see here. He says the full size of This Is Us. Sorry, the full size version was discontinued in 2021. I can't believe it was only 2021 and reportedly isn't coming back. Gurman says, quote, I don't think a big standalone HomePod is still in development, but perhaps a new HomePod Mini is coming. Oh, great. Oh, good. A new HomePod Mini. Maybe it will be minier. Even minier. This one, even minier, y'all. He's going to pull it out and be like this big, like the size of a marble. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's wrong with the HomePod Mini, or the regular HomePod, actually, is that it's not quite loud enough. I mean, do you notice this? Like certain Apple TV channels, like let's just say Shudder. You ever watch Shudder? It's like a horror movie channel, right?
I've heard of it. I never used it.
Some of those movies are really quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, I the other day, the wife and I were watching a movie, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, and she goes, "Can you turn that up?" And I'm like, "It is up all the way."
Mm-hmm.
And usually, I mean, she is always like going, "Oh, please turn it down, please turn it down." And I'm like, "Yeah, explosions are loud, and then once the explosions stop, they'll be talking, and we won't be able to hear it at all because it'll be this loud." And so we were constantly like fighting over the volume, right? But she's going, "Please, please turn it up. I can't hear anything." It's like, yeah, it's maxed out. So I don't understand why Apple TV can't take care of that. I don't understand why the HomePod is. I guess it's not really the HomePod that's not loud enough, but if it was actually able to produce even more volume when you come across one of these low volume inputs, it would be nice to have a little bit of headroom.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the complaints about the regular HomePods were that they weren't loud enough. Even
No, that's what
stereo
I'm
mode.
talking
Oh,
about.
okay,
I'm talking about a
yeah.
regular HomePod in stereo mode. Like there are certain things that are plenty loud, but there are other things it's just not enough oomph there. And I don't know what the limiting factor is. I'm not going to go dig into it and figure. I mean, I'm sure it's something to do with the original encoding of the movie or something, but it seems like certain Apple TV channels are quieter than other ones, and I don't exactly know why. But
Man,
what I'm saying is, I'd like it to be louder, not softer.
Yeah.
And the HomePod Mini is just there's no way you could use it as a soundbar in any sort of
no way.
credible way.
And it
I've
doesn't
heard of
have
people doing it, but
well, if you have a small apartment or something, sure. Or if you're just sitting at your desk, sure. But they don't get nearly as loud as a HomePod. And I would say not even 2 HomePod Minis get as loud as 1 HomePod. I haven't tested that, but that's kind of the way it feels. And then 2 HomePods in stereo pair, got on my face. Got on my face with that nonsense. Not even having that discussion with you. And Apple could have, and what I was hoping, I think what many of us were hoping is they would have they were in the TV home how do I say this? The TV audio space, right? They could have had a package of HomePods that you can use for surround sound, wireless surround sound, and then release like a subwoofer, and I think that would have sold pretty well for them. I mean, Sony has a wireless, I forget the model name, a wireless speaker system that you can use for TVs that essentially do that, and they're selling it for like $2,000 for 4 satellites and a subwoofer, right? So Apple could have sold you a package of 4 HomePods with a HomePod subwoofer, and sold it for $1,500. And I honestly think that people would have bought it. I mean, I would have been interested in buying it, especially if it could have been used for a music experience, and then all the other smart speaker stuff in addition to home theater. That's the word I was going for, the phrase home theater. I think that would have sold super well for them.
Yeah, I mean, you almost don't even need it. I mean, the surround sound is so convincing. I mean, I'm constantly thinking there's something like walking in the side of my house when I'm watching a movie, and it's just super good spatial projection of audio.
Yeah, they work so well, don't they? We've got a Carlos R saying, "Hey guys, I just got a new Apple TV 4K as a gift. Nice gift, nice gift. He's giving you that gift. It's a whole lot of technology for a brother like yourself, Carlos." And he's saying, "What speakers do you guys recommend instead of HomePods?" Oh, okay. Well, let me see here. I'm gonna see if I can find the name of these HomePod speakers. Or excuse me, the Sony speakers. Sony. I'm just gonna search for the Sony wireless speakers. If you have the money, this is what I would do. Sony wireless speakers, home theater, and I'll pull these up. And I've seen a ton of reviews about these. God, I can't find them. This is why you should not Google stuff live. Quick.
It's excellent audio.
Quick, Lewis, vamp about something. Now, I was just going to say, this is why you, I can't find them here anywhere. Sony TV speakers. Let's try that. Yeah.
I don't know anything about any of these other things. The only thing I know for sure is that Leander has always talked quite glowingly about Sonos speakers.
Yeah.
And they make a whole bunch of, I believe, AirPlay 2 compatible speakers. A wide variety of them, right? So, but I've never actually heard them. I've got the HomePod. Yeah, before that I had a kind of a crappy wired sound bar, and it didn't sound anywhere near as good as the 2 HomePods. It didn't cost as much either, but
I think I found it. Thank you for vamping.
Yeah, anytime.
I think this is it. The Sony HT-A9. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that this is it. If you have the money, this is what I would go for. It is a wireless system from Sony, and I don't know if this one comes with the subwoofer. It may or may not.
Whew.
It doesn't look like it.
$2,000.
It's not cheap, but it's got AirPlay 2 and Chromecast built in, and you just place these little wireless speakers around your room, and that's what I love about it is you don't have to plug them into your TV. You just plug this little box that comes with it into your TV, and then you have this really beautiful surround sound. I've heard these sound phenomenal.
That's
It's not
a
cheap.
lot of money.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. But if you don't want to be encumbered by wires, which if you have a space like mine, I can't run wires across my whole living room. So I need a wireless solution like this. I think that this is what I would do, Carlos. I don't know if you're down to throw that much scratch down. If you are, maybe pick me up a pair that I'll review it.
Wow, that is a lot of money.
I don't know, man. When it comes to home audio, I don't really think that $2,000 is that much money. I mean, I just spent, well, I didn't buy it full price, but I just spent like a bunch of money, $1,500 on an Apple Studio display. That's basically an iMac with no iMac inside. The other thing I just wanted to I just saw this pop up on B&H. The other thing I thought was pretty cool, I honestly would love to actually try one of these, is a neck speaker. Have you ever tried a neck speaker, Liz?
What do you mean? Like those Bluetooth things that sit on your neck?
These have got to be one of the dorkiest products of all time. But how often do you go on like a walk or a run or bike ride or something, and you don't want to have your earpods in, or your AirPods, excuse me, and I like ethereal sound. Like I want the speaker to be outside of my ears. That's how I prefer my sound. And I think I would really love to try a neck speaker like this. And it just sits on your neck. I mean, talk about lame, right? It sits on your neck, but and then it has like these speakers that it almost looks like a toilet seat lid, doesn't it? Or a toilet seat. It looks like a toilet
seat. The round
seat.
thing, is that like a?
It might plug into like your device if you
button?
don't have. It's a chest button for playing and pausing. This one might be for watching TV. So maybe this plugs into like your TV or something if you don't have Bluetooth. So I'm gonna guess that this speaker, which does look exactly like a toilet seat, it's probably works on your phone without this little module. But if you want to use it with your TV, you got to plug this module into your TV. Would be my guess. Huh. But and then it has speakers and it just fires the speakers up from your shoulders into your ears. And dude, I would love something like this for like, I like to go on really, I got so much in common with Steve Jobs. I like to go on really long walks. Like my dream is like, if I have time, I'll go on like a 3-hour walk, and I'll just walk really far away and then come back. And I'm usually listening to my iPhone when I'm doing this, but I don't want to have my AirPods in, and so I just hold my phone in my hand while I'm walking, which, is not a great way to go on a walk. And also, oftentimes I'll drop my phone because my hand just gets tired and I just let go of it. So I'd love to have something like this, but
you know what you need to go for?
Yeah.
No, don't go with the neck thing. Go with the bone phone.
The bone phone.
Are you familiar with the bone phone?
I don't even know if I want you to describe this to me.
You take a look at Slack. Take a look at Slack and take a look at that thing. Pull it up for the people.
Let's see here. Can I? Let me see if I don't even know where my Slack is. The bone phone. All right. You want me to? You want me to load this?
Yeah.
What the heck is this, Lewis?
Yeah. So I'll just read the little Wikipedia thing. I remember experiencing one of these. There might have been something involved that made it seem way more amazing than it was. Anyway, bone phone was a wearable radio that draped around the user's neck like a scarf. Bill Haas invented the device, and JSNA marketed it in 1979. According to marketing materials, the bone phone resonated sound through the wearer's bones.
Wow, that sounds totally safe. Right?
Isn't it crazy looking?
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like a large bone. This must be the case for it.
No, you just like throw that thing on there and.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I actually like shoulder speakers, right? I guess is the universal what we're looking for here. Oh, here we go. Vintage bone phone. We can get a better look at the product. Oh yeah. Wow. Okay, so we got some pictures of this here. Let's bring this up. For those of you listening live, sorry, I'll try to describe this to you. It looks like a giant blue snake, and you basically just like lay it across your shoulders. And then in one end, it has a bunch of stereo controls. You can control the volume, and I don't know what this other stuff is, like the kilohertz, the band hertz or something. I don't even know what that is. You got stereo. Oh wait. That's because this does radio. That's radio dials.
I think you were listening to radio.
Yeah, you're listening to radio. Okay. You just lay this weird flat blue snake all the way across your it kind of looks like a beach towel. And then boom, you got some radio. That's pretty cool.
And look at that. In late 2019, Sony introduced a similar project, though a lot less rugged, the SRS WS1 wearable neck speaker.
I know, and like I said, a neck speaker has got to be one of the dorkiest products ever invented. But they are the peak of practicality. I mean, you can just have this thing on your neck and just be walking around listening to music without having to wear headphones, without having to use your AirPods. I know it. I know it sounds very strangely niche, but I'm sure there's a lot of me out there. I don't even know what we would call ourselves, but we're part of a very small exclusive club of people that would rather just not have something on our ears. But we want the audio, we want the ethereal audio effervescing up around our heads, but we don't actually ever want to put anything on our ears. It's one of the reasons why I don't like closed headphones. I wear these closed headphones when we're doing the show, but I never wear them otherwise because I like to have the open air, like that open sound signature is really what I love.
Well, I don't know if you've heard of this. Now that you're talking about this, have you heard of Soundcore Frames?
No.
These are made by Soundcore, which is the audio thing of Anker, your favorite.
Oh, you mean Anker?
Anker.
Oh, yes, I know Anker very well.
So
they're glasses?
They're glasses with little speakers built into the temples.
Interesting. Oh, they make sunglasses?
So you should get a hold of them and have them send you some, if you're into that kind of thing.
Dude, I should totally I should reach out to them. Some of these sunglasses actually look pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't wear glasses, actually you can get them made with prescription lenses if you're blind like me.
Man, talk about niche.
What you're describing, this sounds like the perfect product for you.
Yeah.
I got to try these out. I mean, before they released them, they brought some by. Obviously, it's a little tiny speaker in the temple of your glasses, right? So it's not like a HomePod room-filling sound, but it sounds kind of cool. The
I'm
downside
totally
is
reach out to them.
People
this
around
would make
you
a great YouTube video.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can swap out those temples and put on different whatever the front part, right? So you can change up the look.
Oh man,
it's an interesting product.
They've got some hot looks here too. They've got some frames that I would definitely wear.
Almost looks like Galaxy Heath modeling the phone at the top.
What's funny? You said that. I was thinking that exact same thing. I was thinking that. This guy's hands are way too big to be Galaxy Heath, but yeah, I was definitely thinking that. That's how I knew. That was the dead giveaway. I was like, oh, normal size human hands, not in the sun, Alex. If it was like little Cabbage Patch hands, you
can do anything with Photoshop, man.
Like a nut, yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna reach out, and then someone else. We'll wrap up here. Okay, someone else is telling me to look for the Bose Soundwear Companion. Bose Soundwear Companion. It's gonna be some lame guy in a suit wearing this on an airplane. What do you want to bet me? Bose Soundwear Companion wearable speaker. Here we go.
It looks like the modified toilet seat.
It does look like a modified toilet seat. It looks just like the other one. Okay, they've got a case for it. Okay, where's the guy on the airplane wearing it? Anywhere? No picture of a guy on an airplane wearing it?
I bet you can't wear it on the airplane because other people will be able to hear it, right? I mean,
that's true.
I mean, only a moron would do something where you can listen to the thing, although you do hear that on the airplane. It's quite annoying.
You know what I love is when you go to the grocery store and someone's having like a full-on conversation into their phone while they're talking or while they're doing their shopping.
Man, go to Italy sometime. People constantly walk down the street and they've got their phone and they're just yelling into it.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Horizontal, right?
Yeah,
it's horizontal.
Yeah,
so I think it must be a video. I don't know. There's no reason to hold it that way. But all the time in Italy, man. It's a little bit like, that's a strange culture.
I see people like that in Seattle all the time, Lewis, all the time.
Maybe they're Italian.
They might be Italian. We were speaking English, but, maybe they're from there. Their family's from there or something. All right. I to be honest, I think the Sony's got a little bit more style than the Bose has. This is, as a premise, these, or at a base level, these products look kind of dorky, but this one looks especially dorky. It has what are these things? Like base holes or something?
You know what I noticed is they don't have pictures of people actually using the devices.
Yeah, because
not a lot of lifestyle shots.
No one could be paid enough money to actually don these on there. Oh wait, here we go. Okay, we got a picture. Okay, they're a lot smaller than you would guess. Yeah, that helps a lot. They're way smaller than you would think. Look at that.
I don't see it.
Oh, they're tiny. They're tiny. That's interesting.
It looks very Star Trek.
Yeah, it kind of does look Star Trek. It looks like it should be connected to a helmet or something. Okay, well now I'm a little bit more interested. All right, this is terrible audio, Lewis. So we gotta go ahead and get this music going. People, most people listen to this show in audio, and we're sitting here talking about something that we're looking at. My apologies to everyone. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. That's all the CultCast we have for you guys this week. But if you want the party to continue, we're always party 24/7 on Twitter. I'm at Erfon, ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. New episodes of the CultCast come out every Thursday night, every single one. And we'll see. Oh, thanks for listening. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good weekend, everyone. You know what I'm going to do, Lewis, is just to get a good feel for these speakers. I'm going to go detach the toilet seat from my toilet and just wear it around my neck for the next 2 days.
Yeah, good thinking. See how it goes.
Hey, you know what? That gives me an even better idea. Maybe I'll just DIY, right? I'll just get some Bluetooth speakers. I'll drill out a hole in my toilet seat and just wear it around my neck. Problem solved.
Get a couple of what are they? Yeah, just drill them on there. That'd be great.
Yeah, tape them on there maybe. Well, I mean, look, I like to do things high class, Lewis. I'm not gonna just tape the speakers on the toilet seat. I'll attach them with some nails and other things. Probably look better than these Bose. Oh.
Heavens.
All right, everyone. Oh, we got so many great shows. People liked it. Thank you for tuning in, guys. Someone's telling me to check out the Bose Frames. Okay, I will. I will do that. Tape AirPods to your shirt collar. Someone ban Sammy. Someone ban Sammy. Get this guy out of here. All right, all. I'm hovering over the end stream button. That's it. Oh, Lewis, gross.